Day in the Bay Area. Tennessee against Oakland. Happy holidays, then, do.
Merry Christmas, Mal. Merry Christmas to you, folks. You know, truth be told, both these teams have probably already put a wrap on their seasons coming into tonight's game, but that doesn't mean it won't be an exciting and viable one. On the Oakland side of the ball, I think they would like to re-involve Tyrone Wheatley into the offense tonight. He's been in the doghouse lately, had a case of the dropsies, but he's a good weapon, and I think I want to polish him up for the playoff run. Tennessee side of the ball, I think they should take a note from Green Bay and the Pittsburgh Steelers. In the latter stages of a broken season, if you win out, it does set the table for the next season's campaign. And I think that the Tennessee Titans would do well to start 2002 tonight here in Oakland. On a personal note, I just want to say that it's nice to be back live on Saturday night doing TV with a guy named Michaels. Guess what, folks? That's the opening, and I am out of here.
Denny, thanks for the update.
Hi, y'all. Thanks. Tim, the Rays of NFC West. What's the focal point for the night and the rest of the season?
Well, we got to keep a little pressure on Pittsburgh, man. So, you know, we still think we can get the home field advantage, and that's what we're shooting for right now.
Now, before the season, people wasn't sure if you and Jerry Rice could coexist together. Why has it worked?
Well, we want to win. You know, we're not caring about stats. You know, Jerry's going to be the greatest footballer in the history of this game. I am where I am, and as far as stats go, we're just trying to get another championship for him, and I'm trying to get my first.
Thanks, Tim. Al?
All right, thank you, Eric. And there he is, Jerry Rice, 39 years old, looks like he's 29, playing like he's 29. And Joe Nedney to kick off for Tennessee. Back deep to receive for the Raiders is Terry Kirby. It rained most of the morning, part of the afternoon. It was dry for about 4 hours. Now it begins to rain again in Oakland, and we're underway with Nedney's kick taken at the 6 line by Kirby. Out past the 20 he comes, and then he's tackled at the 27, and that's where the Raiders will set up shop. Let's look at their offensive unit.
Rich Gannon, University of Delaware. Charlie Garner, University of Tennessee. John Ritchie, Stanford.
Jerry Rice, Mississippi Valley State University.
Tim Brown, University of Notre Dame.
Roland Williams, Syracuse University.
Barry Sims, University of Utah.
Steve Wisniewski, Penn State University.
Adam True, University of Frank Middleton, University of Arizona.
Lincoln Kennedy, University of Washington.
Wisniewski was at Penn State before Paterno got there.
Chances are Steve's going to retire at the end of this season. Tremendous career. The first play of the game is a pass to Charlie Garner, and he's taken down by Eddie Robinson. Let's look at the Titans defensively.
Kevin Carter, University of Florida.
Josh Evans, University of Alabama, Birmingham, the Blazers.
Jason Fisk, Stanford University.
Von Kurz, University of Florida.
Greg Favors, Mississippi State.
Randall Godfrey, University of Georgia.
Eddie Robinson, Alabama State University.
Andre Dyson, University of Utah.
Samari Rogue, Florida State. Eric Morris, the Michigan State University.
Terry Phoenix, the University of Southern Mississippi.
And on 2nd and 6, here's Garner. So 2 quick passes to Garner, and that's a first down as the Raiders have it at the 40-yard line. Tackle made by Perry Phoenix.
And Charlie, the reason the Raiders have been so effective and why Rich Gannon is completing 2/3 of his passes on the year. Garner has the ability to split out wide as he did on that play, create a tremendous mismatch with a strong safety or linebacker on the perimeter.
Now the Raiders come up with 3 wide receivers. Make it 4. Rice, Porter, Jett, and Brown. From the 40-yard line, and with 4 wideouts, they get Garner trying to trick them through the middle, and Josh Evans says not through here. 2nd down. The Tennessee defense last year, guys, #1 in the league in terms of allowing the least yardage. But remember, Greg Williams left to become the head coach at Buffalo, and Jim Schwartz is the new defensive coordinator, trying to get it together.
Greg had a fun maiden voyage up in Buffalo this year, too.
Tyrone Wheatley is in the game now in the backfield on 2nd and 10. He hasn't played much over the past weeks. And back to pass is Gannon, and Gannon's going to take off and slides to a hole at the 45. I mentioned Wheatley only because he was hurt. Then he was active last week against San Diego but didn't play much, and a lot of folks around here thought maybe Gruden was punishing him for a fumble. John said, no, I'm going to get Wheatley into the game early and often.
I just think he's effusive about Garner. He loves Garner at 185. He said his game plays a lot bigger than that, meaning that in essence the guy hits like a truck. So I don't think it's a big problem with as much as it is he really loves Garner.
Right now they go to their third running back. This is Randy Jordan. Offset, there he is. 3rd down and 5 from the 45-yard line. Gannon throwing off his back foot, and that's incomplete over the middle, intended for Jerry Rice. And Gannon has to look down at his hand as he took a shot.
He took a shot from Daryl Porter, who was on a blitz from the nickel position. Gannon, who turned 36 this week, as Porter comes in. You know, Porter's only 5'9". If he was 6 feet tall, he'd probably get called for roughing the passer. Led with his head, but didn't hit Gannon in the head.
He got called for the late hit on Favre last week, and it was a phantom call.
Now Shane Leckler with a line drive kick. Mason calls for a fair catch and makes it at the 7-yard line, but not seeing the signal was Derek Gibson. It was a line drive. I had the feeling the way Mason put his hand up, he realized he didn't want to call for the fair catch. After he tried to get it down. Bob Casulo is the special teams coach, and they run him, and that's a penalty.
It was one of the quickest fair catch signals you'll ever see. Just a circle motion by Derek Mason. And I think you're right, Al. There was a lot of room for him to run with this low line drive. Watch the quick motion here by Mason. Just one circle. That's good enough. That is a legitimate fair catch signal, and that is a legitimate 15-yard penalty.
Catch. The defense, here's the offense numbers 26. 15 yards. First down. Timeout.
With a 15-yard penalty, so instead of the 9-yard line, they start from the 24 when we come back. McNair hangs in the pocket, going deep, and the pass is incomplete. Intended for Kevin Dyson, covered by Eric Allen. Here's the Tennessee O.
Steve McNair, Alcorn State.
Eddie George, Ohio State University.
Derek Mason, Michigan State University.
Kevin Dyson, University of Utah.
Frank Wycheck, University of Maryland.
Aaron Kinney, University of Florida.
Brad Hopkins, Illinois.
Bruce Matthews, USC.
Gennaro DiNapoli, Virginia Tech.
Benji Olsen, University of Washington.
Fred Miller, Baylor University.
You know, Al, my wife and I honeymooned in Gennaro DiNapoli. There's a beautiful cave you can swim in over there. It's opaque.
3rd down and 9, and the play clock is 0, and the flags come in for delay of game.
They all took their time. They wanted to hear my joke.
Offense, 5 yards. Remains 3rd down.
They get 14. There's your man. You've been waiting for him to play all season.
All for that honeymoon joke. Do you realize what a sad little life I've carved out for myself, that I've been sitting on that joke?
Not if you honeymooned the Gennaro DiNapoli. Gennaro,
Ex-Raider.
Yeah, ex-Raider. Starting at center, and Bruce Matthews at the age of 40. The question is, will Bruce be back next year? Talk about that a little bit later. 3rd down and 14 from the 19. Only a 3-man rush. They drop 8, and then Eddie George juggles it and loses it up at the 27-yard line. So it is 3 and out.
Case of hearing footsteps for Eddie George. McNair kind of floated that ball, and Eddie knew that Woodson 24 was on his way. Took his eye off it. The head turns upfield just a bit. McNair lucky that this deflection was not picked off by Charles Woodson.
Now Hendrick to punt. Tim Brown is running back kicks at the age of 35. And 2 weeks ago he brought one back 88 for a touchdown. This time it is Brown, circle under it at the 36-yard line. Tries to find an angle and a seam and brings it back to the 42, where he's tackled by Mike Green. That's where the Raiders will have it for the second time in the game. 3:39 into it in Oakland. No Monday night game this week because of Christmas Eve. No Monday night game next week, New Year's Eve. But the final Monday, January 7th, it'll be Minnesota at Baltimore to wrap up the season. First down for the Raiders from the 42-yard line as Gannon throws to the outside and Tim Brown drops it. There's news.
Well, it's another one of those east to west patterns there, and it's interesting, Al, that the rebirth of the Raiders is almost entirely predicated on it happening under the aegis of a coach, John Gruden, who doesn't care less about the legacy, a quarterback, Rich Gannon, who's the most un-Raiderish guy you ever want to meet, and almost the complete scrapping of the core 10 of the Raider system. Offense. They're strictly east to west now. That's why they're 10-3 and heading for the playoffs.
Second down and 10 from the 42-yard line. Gannon under pressure, throws, and that's caught by Jerry Rice, and he takes the ball into Tennessee territory to the 49-yard line, just shy of the first down.
Raiders have run 7 plays. 5 of them have been Rich Gannon passes. Jerry Rice working against Samari Rolle. This will be a good matchup all night for Samari. He's got his hands with Rice, but we'll see him on Tim Brown as well. The dart thrower, Rich Gannon, with another strike.
They've asked for a measurement here. Jerry Rice, unbelievable. I mean, when you watch Jerry Rice play, it looks like it's 1991, not 2001.
Exactly. I was just going to say, Jerry Rice looks like a young Jerry Rice. I mean, there's nobody to compare him to except him a decade ago.
Raiders had asked for that measurement. John Gruden is still the youngest coach in the league, despite this being the 4th year as head coach of the Raiders at the age of 38.
And I still say Notre Dame waits. If he wins a Super Bowl, I think they make a big offer and he goes there. And you know why? The main reason they want him now is he does have the Masters from New Hampshire. The Golden Boy. He would be the new Golden Boy, replacing Hornick, Matt.
Now there's a Golden Boy. Jeff Fisher took over for Jack Pardee in '94, and now 4th in tenure with his current team in the National Football League. Zach Crockett is in the backfield now on 3rd and 1. He's their short yardage guy, and that's why. As Zach Crockett picks up a first down. So they have Garner, they have Wheatley, and then in short yardage and goal line situations, they come in with Crockett, and they also have Randy Jordan. So a lot of versatility in that backfield.
There's a lot of heft, too. Adam True is a 300-pounder at center right here. Watch also as John Ritchie comes in at 250 pounds. Takes care of the middle linebacker there, Godfrey, and of course Zach Crockett, all he is 240. That's a perfect lead play. John Gruden learned a lot from his dad when he was the running back coach for John McKay's Tampa Bay Bucks.
Now toss back to Garner, and Charlie Garner takes it to the 33. The ex-Eagle and the ex-49er, whose prior 2 teams played across the bay in San Francisco earlier today with the Niners winning 13-3, picks up a first down.
Gruden will employ 6 running backs tonight. We've already seen Wheatley and Crockett. Now the quickness of Charlie Gardner. It's very fashionable to talk about thunder and lightning. Raiders, this is their bit of lightning right here. The move by Gardner getting inside extra yards.
Garner's now carried twice for 13 yards, caught 2 passes for 13 yards. Ball to the 34-yard line as Gannon launches one for the end zone, and too deep. Jerry Rice covered perfectly by Samari Rolle.
Al, it becomes even more amazing what the 49ers are doing across the bay when you look at the fact that Rice and Garner are over this side this year. By the way, today, the first time in history that both Bay Area teams played home games on a Saturday. I don't know what it means. I don't think it means anything.
That's another nugget. You are just full of Christmas
I scouted
nuggets.
it out. I gleaned it. I polished it. I brought it in, and I failed with it. Al, back to you.
And you're emptying the saddlebags. Only 9:30 to go in the first quarter. Second down and 10. Gannon throws underneath, and that's a gain of about 4. The tight end Jeremy Brigham, and a flag is down.
A real late flag. They may get Brigham for pushing off.
Tell us what the side judge has told him. Indeed. Little push off.
This may not be all that great a call against John Gruden's tight end, Jeremy Brigham.
Pass interference. Offense number 87. 10 yards. Remains second down.
There's Brigham. He's going to come down and spin to the outside here against Keith Bullock there. Now that'll get him the call, though. 2 hands pushing on the shoulder of the linebacker. Didn't really need to do it. He was open without making contact with Bullock.
Puts it back at the 43-yard line. 2nd and 20 with no score. First quarter in Oakland is Gannon protected well, throws, and the catch is made this time by Roland Williams, another of their tight ends who came over from St. Louis, tackled there by Eddie Robinson. Rich Gannon started his career with Minnesota, then went to Washington and Kansas City. And take a look at that, a 75.6 rating. Then he came here. This is his third season here. He has not missed a start. The pass rating at 92.7. He is playing as well now as he ever has.
And one of the few guys who I actually believe reads progressions, Al. Most of the time you think that's just in theory. You can see him look all across the field.
Hard count, almost got the Titans to jump, but no flag. And on 3rd and 16, the pass a little behind and through the hand of Jerry Rice. Porter covering on the play. It'll be 4th down.
That would have been way short of the first down for Gruden. That penalty against Jeremy Brigham was enough to push Sebastian Janikowski out of his range and bring up this punt. So a costly pass interference against Jeremy Brigham.
Shane Leckler to punt, and Derek Mason stands inside his 10-yard line to bring it back.
Looking at the leading punter in Oakland Raider history at 46.1.
And that's saying something.
Exactly.
Yeah. Into the end zone. So here comes McNair back to lead the Titan offense. 8:14 left in the opening period. We're scoreless.
Titans have their hands full, but there's only one place to be. Here with Michaels, Miller, and Fauci.
Hey! That Fauci thing sweeping America, Dano. Copyright the T-shirt, my friend, now.
Yeah.
Rain coming down again from the 20-yard line as the Titans have it for the second time. Fingertip grab by Mike Green. That's a gain of 6. Let's take a look at the Oakland defensive unit.
Reagan Upshaw, University of California.
Darrell Russell, University of Southern California.
Grady Jackson, Knoxville College.
Tony Bryan, Florida State University.
William Thomas, Texas A&M University.
Greg Beaker, University of Colorado.
Elijah Alexander, Kansas State University.
Mr. Woodson,
Nova School.
Eric Allen, Arizona State University.
Johnny Harris, Mississippi State University.
Anthony Dorsett, University of Pittsburgh.
And this is Eddie George putting his shoulder down, trying to get the first down, coming up about a half-yard shy, just shy of the 30-yard line.
You know, that's an amazing testimony to McNair's guts that he's playing here tonight. When we met with them yesterday, I mean, did you see how much trouble we had getting in and out of the chair in the conference room?
Yep.
At those back spasms, and he is tough. There's no question about that. But he's also strong. I don't think his lower back spasms will affect him. He warmed up before the game. Didn't look great then, but he looks pretty good now.
And there's his backup, Neil O'Donnell, the longtime Steeler, who took all of the reps in practice this week. McNair didn't practice at all. On a roll. Air McNair becomes ground McNair here, and that's a first down.
And McNair's a cool customer, too. Dan and I were talking to Heimerdinger, Mike on the field before the game. He said he couldn't find McNair. He's sleeping somewhere.
Yeah, he has the ability to really relax. Watch how smooth he is on this. You know, it doesn't even look like he's running full speed, and yet he's running away from Tony Bryant there, getting the first down and getting out of harm's way.
7th year out of Alcorn State. He was their #1 pick in 1995, and it turned out to be a beautiful pick. 1st and 10 from the 31-yard line. And through the middle, Eddie George, gain of 2. Mentioned about how hot McNair has been, especially recently, and despite all of the back problems, a slow September, a slow October, real good in November, outstanding in December.
That was right about in here where the Titans changed the emphasis of their offense from a running game with Eddie George, who's been struggling with that turf toe problem, to letting and putting the air back in Air McNair.
You're over 100. Good number, and there he is over the last 3 games, including that loss to Minnesota, which had very little to do with Steve and a lot to do with the defense. 2nd down and 8 as McNair throws into traffic and incomplete. He tried to jam it in to Derek Mason. 3rd down.
Dano, when we were talking to Coach Fisher, he told us McNair's going to have to go in for a 40,000-mile checkup, probably have his shoulder scraped after the season, his throwing shoulder. So I guess he's dinged a little in there, and I'm wondering if him taking something off his usually really fast fastball is the reason that he's got his passing rating up so high.
Well, you know, it could be a good point there, Dennis, because he has developed more of a touch. On that play, that was just ill-advised as 2 Raiders closed on his fastball.
3rd down and 8 now from the 33-yard line. 5-man rush, and down goes McNair. First guy to get to him was Regan Upshaw, and then Greg Beaker comes in to finish him off.
That 5-man is enough to get the job done, too. Regan Upshaw lines up all the way over here at right defensive end, working against Brad Hopkins. Well-designed stunt there with Beekert as Beekert went in and pushed Hopkins off the block, allowed Upshaw to come in and pick up the sack.
Now Charles Woodson gets to return his first punt of his professional career, and the Heisman Trophy winner at Michigan, who excelled at doing these things in college, almost breaks this one as Hendricks' kick is fielded to the 30 and brought back 13 yards before he's tackled by Eric Morris. So the Raiders will have it near midfield. 5:29 to go in the period. 0-0 in Oakland. Woodson, who had a fabled college career. And speaking of college football, New Year's Day here on ABC. It's the Fiesta Bowl, Colorado and the Oregon Ducks. The Sugar Bowl that night, Illinois LSU. The next night, Florida, Maryland, and then the national championship game from Pasadena. 3, the Rose Bowl, Miami, and Nebraska. All here on ABC. First down for the Raiders now. Tyrone Wheatley is the running back in this set behind the fullback John Ritchie. And it's Wheatley through the middle, getting out to the 45-yard line. Gain of about 3. Let's go to Eric Dickerson, ED.
Well, that one thing this Titans defense has to do, and that's put pressure on quarterback Rich Gannon. They've got to hit him, and I mean really hit him. Because you need to not let him throw the ball early, because the Raiders, they throw a lot of timing routes. They need to disrupt the timing between Gannon and his receivers. If not, it could be a long for this Titans defense.
I'll tell you one thing, as you look at the Titan defense, and up front, you've got Kevin Carter there, bookended with Javon Curse. If they hit Gannon hard enough, that's the Raiders' biggest fear. 2nd down and 7. A little swing out to Wheatley, and he gets taken down in the open field. Dan mentioned that Gannon is clearly a prime candidate for MVP. I would also suggest, Dan, that there is no player in the league right now more valuable to his team than Gannon to Oakland.
Especially when you look at his backups, Rodney Peete, who hasn't played for quite a while, and then rookie Marcus Tuiasosopo. Bobby Hoying out for the year. So we all saw last year in the championship game against the Baltimore Ravens, when Tony Siragusa fell on Rich Gannon, what it meant to the Raiders as they went down to defeat.
There's Rodney Peete. Randy Jordan now in the backfield, flanking Gannon. Also John Ritchie there. Their heavy set, 3rd down and 5. And they're going to have Javon Curse either unabated to the quarterback. Mike Carey is the official.
Offside defense. Number 90 was unabated to the quarterback. 5 yards, 3rd down.
Well, Javon wanted to be unabated because he's getting chipped 9 out of 10 plays this year. They don't try to single him anymore. They have a back chip on him. We asked him how he deals with a guy who chip blocks on him. He said, I like to beat him up. I think that's a pretty good plan. Hey, Dano?
Yeah, you know,
just pummel him.
Well, what it does is it really gets the attention of the guy doing the chipping, and that's usually a running back who's a little bit of a smaller guy who is getting enough punishment when he's carrying the ball. So Javon's attitude is, I'm going to add to that punishment. They're going to try to double team me. I'm going to turn my attention on the little guy.
And Rich Gannon has just asked for a timeout, to the consternation of Coach Gruden. 3:44 left in a scoreless opening first quarter. Monday Night Football echo those very sentiments in this holiday season as the Oakland Raiders take over after the timeout. And do they pick up the first down? Very close at the 47-yard line. Zach Crockett carrying it.
Pretty predictable for the Raiders. That's how they picked up a first down earlier in this quarter. Titans don't believe they got it.
It was 3rd down and 1. Raiders had taken the timeout. Mike Carey's going to bring in the sticks.
You can see what a precarious, tenuous thing the energy of a stadium is. You just move a game from Monday night to Saturday night. Do you believe we're in the black hole? I mean, it is so quiet, isn't it?
It'll get noisy. They're short. So they took a timeout.
Wow.
And they took a timeout to call that play.
Yeah.
And if that was the play that was called, that Gannon couldn't understand the communication from the sidelines, that is really mind-boggling, because that is such a basic short play.
And that's why you had that look on the face of Gruden. Now Leckler to punt.
So they don't get the first down, and they cost themselves a timeout.
Raiders have had good field position throughout the quarter. Titans haven't. But the game is scoreless with 3:22, and Leckler will send it down to Mason. And his third punt of the period is a high floating kick. Mason is going to call for a fair catch and make it at the 6-yard line. Well, Monday Night Football has been to Oakland on a Saturday night in the past. How long ago? Here's how long ago.
That George Blanda is quarterback. He is. He's 46 years old.
Throw a bomb, George.
He wants Brad got it. I don't believe it. Man is a remarkable fella. Just remarkable.
Well, upon further review, he was 47 that night, was Blanda, throwing a touchdown pass. Now Skip Hicks is in the game. He had a big day last week, the former UCLA star and Washington Redskin, and there goes Hicks out to the 10-yard line. Skip Hicks last week, because Eddie George has been so banged up, saw a lot of action, and there it was against the Packers, 142 yards.
You know, Skip's almost got one of these Rob Johnson cubby holes between now and the end of the season, where if he shows his colors right, could make himself a lot of money. A little audition where you're not really tested for a whole season, but you can make quite an impression.
So Eddie George fighting that toe battle all season long, and the surgery, and not the Eddie George we've seen in the past. And Hicks, who made a lot of money, believe me, last week, swings to the outside, tries to turn it back up, and loses one tackle by Tony Bryant.
Well, let's go back and take a look at what Hicks did that was so impressive against the Packers. He got a chance to play, and he came through. And he showed his speed, something that the offensive linemen really appreciated. They've been struggling as a unit themselves this year, but this play at the end of the game really salted it away for the Titans against a very good Packer defense.
Now on 3rd and 5 from the 12-yard line. Little toss back to Hicks, and he works his way up to the 19-yard line. So they give it to him 3 times in a row. He played with the Redskins, got tired of playing behind Stephen Davis, went to Chicago, and well, for more on Hicks, here's Melissa.
Well, Al, Skip Hicks' performance last week was kind of a microcosm of his football career. I talked to his college coach at UCLA, Terry Donahue, and asked him about his memories of Hicks, and he said he was the kind of guy that you thought one day he could win the Heisman. On another day, he just could not deliver. Donahue remembered the first scrimmage Hicks took a part of. He had 2 long runs for touchdowns. Donahue went home that night. Absolutely. I says this could be a great back. Problem was you never knew which guy you were going to get.
Here's McNair now throwing, and that is caught by Aaron Kinney, the tight end, and they go from the shadow of their end zone all the way out to the 37-yard line. But Hicks, as we said, went to Chicago. He signed there partially because his college quarterback, Cade McNown, was there. And then he had a chance, he thought, to start. As it turned out, he got waived before the season. McNown wound up in Miami anyway. And then Tennessee was the only team to claim him waivers just prior to opening day.
Shows you the effect of his running so far. 3 straight runs, and then a nice bootleg by McNair to pick up 17 and get better field position.
Now 1st and 10, it enables McNair with a lot of room to work out of the shotgun and survey the field, and he has to bring it back down and tuck it in and get sacked at the 31-yard line. And that is Chris Cooper in there with Roderick Coleman.
Classic case of a coverage set for the Raiders here. On the outside, a linebacker. Good job there taking away the tight end. That's William Thomas, who had a huge game against the Chargers last week. And now Derek Gibson, the rookie, covers the other tight end, Frank Wycheck.
For the first time this season, the Raiders don't score a point in the first quarter. End of 1, no score back after this from our ABC station. Start the second quarter here in Oakland. It is 2nd down, 16 for the Tennessee Titans. 1 30-yard line. McNair has it knocked down by Roderick Coleman.
You know, the Raiders probably do not want to let Tennessee into this game because don't forget they still have an infinitesimal chance to make the playoffs this year. And you know something else? I'm going to win a sports Emmy.
Yeah. Well, this defensive line doing a great job. You see Coleman go up and knock that pass down. 2 sacks in that first quarter. That's an athletic move there by Rod Coleman. In the air on Steve McNair.
3rd down and 16 now from the 30-yard line. McNair out of the shotgun. Fires too high, picked off at the Raider 43 by Tory James. Into Tennessee territory, bumped out of bounds inside the 45.
Steve McNair tried to force that ball into Derek Mason. Charles Woodson came over and got a hand on it and knocked the ball down. Teammate Tory James. But McNair trying to make the play on this 3rd and long. Watch Woodson come over, just get a fingernail on the ball, and a great reaction by James. But look at Woodson going high. He knew that Derek Mason is the main man on that play.
James with his 4th pick of the season. Former Bronco. That's the 11th interception thrown by McNair this season, and it gives the Raiders good field position again as they've had throughout to this point from the 42, and they give it to Garner, and he gets taken down after a gain of 6 to the 36. 2nd down and 4.
Nothing score, so our stats are going to reflect that. Both quarterbacks have just been so-so. 4 different rushers for the Raiders. But the 2 sacks against McNair have knocked down the passing yards for the Titans.
2nd down and 4 at the 7-yard line. Raiders spread out the formation. And in his movement on the right side, it's Lincoln Kennedy.
7-2. That's number 72. 5 yards, still 2nd down.
Following the penalty. Talked about how the had the edge and field position. Boy, howdy. It would have been worse for the Titans if Derek Gibson didn't have that 15-yard penalty on the 1 fair catch signal by Derek Mason earlier.
2nd down and 10 at the 42-yard line. Early 2nd quarter, no score. Raiders 10-3 coming in. Titans are 6-7. Here is Gannon flinging it over the middle, and that's intercepted. So the favor is returned by Eddie Robinson, who brings it back to the 33-yard line. So both Gannon and McNair throw interceptions in the early stages of the 2nd quarter here in Oakland, and the Titans get the ball back with 13:37 remaining in the 1st half. Still Tennessee nothing and Oakland nothing. It's on ESPN Saturday night, no Monday night next week. Following Monday is New Year's Eve. Here's Eddie George after the Eddie Robinson interception, taking it out to the 38-yard line for a gain of 4.
And I think what Jeff Fisher wants to do in this first half, give Skip Hicks a couple of carries as he did the last series, get Eddie George back in the game, and then in the 2nd half just decide who has been most effective or more effective and go with him. But Skip Hicks has an advantage over Eddie George in that he's fresh, has not carried the ball nearly as much as number 27.
2nd down and 6 from the 37-yard line. Fake to George, a roll. Nice little shoulder move by McNair. Gets it to Eddie George, and that'll be a 1st down before he is run out of bounds. Eric Barton put the pressure on McNair that time, but Stevie able to step away.
Look at all the shadows on the field. This is amazing, this place, the way it's lit like a Bergman film. Look how moody it is. No wonder, look, they don't have half the lights on. Look at it, it looks like the backdrop on the Larry King show.
I think if you connect the dots, it says something.
Huh? It's like Richie Allen used to spell swear words out when he was playing first.
Remember that?
Cleats.
In the dirt?
Sorry, Dick Allen.
1st and 10 from the 49-yard line for the Tennessee Titans. McNair falls down, may have tripped over his lineman's foot, and Eddie George pays the price.
Well, you wonder, he's working with the new center, Gennaro DiNapoli, and I think that DiNapoli was overpowered and pushed back. Therefore, his feet got caught up on McNair's. Yeah, tripped him right there. Grady Jackson, big number, 325 pounds, pushing DiNapoli back on his quarterback. Lucky they didn't fumble.
2nd and 11. Regan Upshaw went back to the locker room, and Chris Cooper is now along the defensive front, number 75 for Oakland, as Eddie George takes it through the middle, gets into Raider territory, and takes the ball to the 48-yard line.
Al, what do Regan Upshaw and Gaylord Perry have in common? Both been known to throw the spitter.
You've been sitting on that one too, huh?
He might be back there working on a lozenge, getting his little
thigh bruise. His return is questionable, we're being told.
And Josh Taves is not suited up tonight, nor is DeLawrence Grant, a couple other defensive ends for the Raiders.
3rd down and 7 now. 11:20 to go in the half with no score. McNair out of the gun. 4-man rush. Great protection. Pass caught, but short of the first down as Dixon gets tackled by Greg Biekert shy of the first.
Well, Fisher's got to feel good that he has got Mason locked in as a receiver, right, Dano?
Well, and the Raiders do too. Greg Biekert is usually off the field on 3rd down. Watch him just drop into the zone and look around for number 85. Look at his eyes go right over here. He knows that Mason is the guy, closes quickly, and keeps him from picking up that first down. Scouting reports, Dendu.
I know, but with Mason and Dyson, I think they might be set a wideout next year.
Here's Hendrick the punt. Tim Brown is back again to return this kick after they had Woodson back on the last punt. Fair catch is called for. Brown makes it at the 17-yard line. Raiders take over there with 10 minutes 29 seconds left in the opening half in Oakland. Titans nothing. Raiders a like figure. Happy holidays from Oakland at the 17-yard line. Tyrone Wheatley is the running back as the Raiders take it here. Rich Gannon, 2 days after his 36th birthday, gives it to Wheatley, the ex-Giant who goes nowhere. Stopped by Henry Ford. Well, Rice came over from San Francisco. Tim Brown, of course, is on his way to the Hall of Fame 5 years after he retires. Could they coexist? Look at those career figures.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Look at that. This is amazing number. That I don't even know what it is.
You know, you take those yards and times it by 3. They're all up there close to 100,000 feet between them now. Huh? Is that spooky? What is that?
Well, you saw Rice's touchdown receptions. They had a few on the ground. He has 196 total touchdowns in his career. By far number 1. 2nd down and 12. From the 15-yard line as Gannon flings it incomplete, intended that time for Jerry Porter, who someday, when Brown and Rice are done, figures to ascend to the lead role here.
You know, the biggest contribution that Rice has brought to the Raiders, and there have been many, leadership and the way to conduct yourself as a real professional, but he plays the split receiver position, the split end, the X receiver. Gannon told me that the position, the X position, the numbers have doubled because of number 80. And that has taken pressure off of number 81.
3rd down and 12 from the 15. Gannon fires, and that's incomplete. And here comes the flag. Just what the crowd wanted, and just what the intended receiver, Jerry Porter, wanted, as he was whacked by Deron Jenkins.
Pass interference. Defense number 25. The spot foul. Automatic. First down.
Timing is everything. We've seen it with the quarterback throwing to the receiver. Porter on the curl route here. Jenkins in good position and poor timing. Ball was going to be overthrown behind Porter, not going to be caught, and yet Jenkins has to wrap his arms around Porter's.
1st and 10 now from the 30-yard line. Gannon throws to Rice. Jerry with a couple of slip moves to a first down. Brown and Rice, two guys going to the Hall of Fame. Here's our Hall of Famer, Eric
No
Dickerson.
doubt. Tim Brown has had some great years for the Raiders, but he's never had a complimentary receiver opposite him until the Raiders got Jerry Rice. Tim Brown said that Rice makes him work harder. He pushes him and makes him a better player. He said it's nice to have someone to who better than the great Jerry Rice.
And the way things are going, Eric, you wonder, I mean, nobody's even asking Jerry about retirement anymore.
He's not playing like he's 39 or 36 or 34. Playing like he's 29.
First and 10 at the 40-yard line as the play clock ticks down to a deuce. And Gannon throws off his back foot and incomplete. Pressure got to him, and down he goes, intended for Rice. He goes down under Josh Evans.
See, the thing about Jerry Rice is it's all set. People think it must be hard for him to maintain that level of competency at his age. It would be hard not to. You know, the guy just knows his drill. He works out harder than anybody else. Comes out on the field before the game in the scuba gear. He's like ripped like a kid. He's got the best hands. He cannot not be Jerry Rice.
And he's older than his coach. He's the only player in the league older than his coach. Even though Bruce Matthews is not that far behind Jeff Fisher, who's only, I think, 43. As the pass is caught by Porter. Porter that inside Jenkins. Jenkins soft coverage about 12 yards up the field. And it's a first down and an 18-yard pickup, and they're in Tennessee territory again.
Rich Gannon's getting a lot of time to throw tonight. This offensive line doing a super job. This is a full-out blitz. But Porter with the move on Samari Rolle, a little bit of a pick route there as he gets down the field and picks up that first down. But the reason Rich Gannon's having such a great year is he's got young receivers like this, plus the old guys, and that offensive line.
Now at the 41-yard line to the ground they go, and back to Garner, and Garner fights for a 5-yard gain to the 36-yard line.
The great thing about Porter at age 23 is not only can he play the third wide out, but he can play it on either side, which is amazing for a young kid. He can fill Brown's slot or he can fill Rice's slot.
And, you know, getting back to that coexisting and cohabitating or whatever between Rice and Brown, the guys that control that are Gruden and Gannon. Gruden calls the plays. Gannon reads the defense. He throws the ball where he wants to because of what the defense does, not because one guy is better than the other.
Second down and 5 from the 36-yard line. Over the middle, catch is made by Tim Brown, and Brown's forward progress may have netted him a first down. He's tackled there by Greg Favors. Let's see where they spot it.
The Raiders are really in their rhythm now. The short passing game, the 5-step drop by Gannon, stepping up into the pocket. He told me that the main focus that he has to have tonight against with a pass as the Titans have with Javon Curse on one side and Kevin Carter on the other is to step up into that pocket, get two hands on the ball, and be ready to run when he has to.
That is a first down to the 30-yard line. First and 10. First comes out of the game. Juper Thomas comes in. And defensive end, and Charlie Garner takes the ball to the 27. Good Raider drive, which began at their own 17-yard line. Tennessee defense last year, the year 2000, as you can see, they allowed only 11.9 points per game in yards allowed. This year, they're down near the bottom of the league in both categories.
And how ironic for a former defensive back such as Jeff Fisher was with the Chicago Bears. It all started with his secondary and injuries that just decimated it.
Second down and 7 from the 27-yard line. Short drop, rhythm throw, caught out here by Roland Williams. And then he gets taken down by a trio of backs just shy of the 20-yard line.
You know, usually, Dano, I hear that rhythm lame, and I kind of think, yeah, I kind of see it, I kind of don't, but it really is discernible here, isn't it?
Well, what it is you can just watch the quarterback. You can count his steps. Most right-handed quarterbacks, when they get back 5 steps so that right foot will hit, they bounce forward, and Gannon does that as well as anybody. And it is the essence of the West Coast offense. Here it is. 1, 2, 3. That's just a 3-step drop that time. But still the rhythm's there.
Now third down and 1, and they bring Crockett into. Crockett takes the ball to about the 20-yard line. That's where they have to go to pick up the first down.
But it's not easy running against this tight defense. That front four and the linebackers twice now have been able to stuff the Raiders on 3rd and short.
So they stop him here. It's going to be 4th and a yard. at the 21-yard line. And the Raiders will go for it in a scoreless game with 5 minutes to play in the half.
They've run a lot of lead plays. Wouldn't be a bad idea to play action here.
The two big backs in the game, Crockett and Ritchie. They give it to Crockett, puts his head down, bulls across the 20, and that moves the sticks. And then Kearse, who's back in the game, gets into it. Kearse in a skirmish here with Roland Williams.
Well, Kearse and Roland drew each other's name in the office poll, for gifts, and they were just giving them out there.
And their gifts were wrapped in yellow flags.
Yep. Left jab, right cross. After Crockett picks up the first down, here's Mike Carey.
There were personal fouls by both teams. Number 86 and number 90, those fouls offset. The down count, first down.
Yeah, well, I want my 12 seconds back. I'm leading a life over here.
Good battle in the pit here tonight. Adam True, the center, again gets pushed over by Jason Fisk, but Crockett, lowering his head, picks up the first down. And now watch Roland Williams and Javon Kearse go at it. Something about never giving an inch.
Oh, 2 minutes for roughing.
Ho, ho, ho.
1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. Gannon, and down he goes. He gave that shoulder move that he's so proficient at using, but this time Jason Fisk was right there to sack him.
Good plays in a row for Jason Fisk. And this is a one-arm sack of Rich Gannon, only the 22nd time he's been sacked this year. Fisk, number 97, working against Frank Middleton here. Watch this one-handed sack.
That's Fisk's first sack since the middle of the 2000 season. 2nd down and 18 now. A little dump off. Garner turns it back inside, gets taken down from behind by Josh Evans. 3rd and long coming up. So the Raiders eschewed the opportunity to kick a field goal, and now they're farther back than they were when they could have kicked the three-pointer.
You watch Gruden calling the plays, and that many words usually indicates a pass play. The other thing that indicates a pass play, 3rd and 12. Or 3rd and 13.
You've divined those tea leaves, have you?
Oh, that's one of my nuggets.
From the 23-yard line. In other words, they're not going to buck it up in there hard here. From the 23-yard line on 3rd and 13, here's Gannon swinging it to the outside, and that's incomplete, intended for Tim Brown. So the Raiders, had they elected to kick the field goal, it would have been about a 38-yarder for Janikowski. Now this one's going to be about a 40 or 41-yarder for him.
Timmy's got that move down with the ref. He doesn't give him the complete freak out. He just gives him that look like, hey, man, I'm a Hall of Fame vet. My call.
And the crowd wants to know where the call is, too, because they replay it up on the screen here. Janikowski now. This will be a 40-yard attempt. Shane Leckler to hold it, and the left footer hooks one, and it is no good. Started out down the middle, and then he drew it into the rough. And with 3 minutes to go in the half, nothing in Oakland. Javon Kearse, a light moment on the bench here. Defense doing a good job tonight. Both defenses, in fact. Eddie George is the running back here. McNair quarterback. After the missed Janikowski field goal, it comes back to the 31 where they start this drive, and McNair throws a little dump off to George underneath, and Eddie takes it to the 35-yard line. Here's a reminder, Christmas Day, that's Tuesday here on ABC Sports. At noon Eastern time, the 64th annual Blue-Gray Classic from Montgomery, Alabama, and then the Las Vegas Bowl, Utah and USC, 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific.
Wow. Anybody remember when poor USC had to play in the Rose Bowl?
Yeah, now they go to the Vegas Bowl. Is Lee Grosskopf still quarterbacking Utah, Fauci?
I thought you were going to bring the Cupper in for this game.
Well, the Cupper, he's in his pajamas. He's in his nightshirt.
As long as he's not in his cups.
I guarantee he's not. On 2nd and 6, Tony Bryant gets to McNair. It's 3rd down.
I thought Judy Karn was quarterback in the Utes.
Huh? I have built my season around that Judy Carn reference.
Yeah.
You'll see it's a fulcrum.
You forgot to bring in Peter Duell.
Wow.
Look at that.
Yeah, alias Smith and Jones. Of course I remember.
Third
Judy's
down.
first husband. They were star-crossed young lovers.
3rd down and 6 from the 35-yard line. 2:18 to go in the scoreless first half. McNair close. First down after the 40-yard line. Coleman and Cooper tackle him, and we're going to come to the 2-minute warning and probably have a measurement.
Heck of an effort by Steve McNair. Remember the back spasms that had him trying out before the game to see if he could play. He's getting tired of getting sacked. He's been down twice, knocked down a couple of times. 3rd and medium here. Doesn't have anything because he hasn't been able to find his tight end Frank Wycheck yet tonight. Looking for Dyson. Johnny Harris with the good coverage on him, and then Coleman comes in with the tackle.
Darrell Russell pounds the turf, such as it is. And they're that much shy of the first down, and that's going to force Tennessee to punt. They're going to wind the clock here as soon as the chain gang gets off the field, so that'll take us to the 2-minute warning. With the clock ticked down to 2 minutes, the Raiders will have 2 timeouts when they get the ball after the Hentrich kick. So in just a second they'll start to wind the clock, and then Tennessee doesn't have to punt until there's 2 minutes to go. See, I wouldn't lie to you, Denny.
Never.
Yes, sir. 2-minute warning in Oakland. Tennessee nothing, Oakland nothing.
A little time with the bobblehead dolls the other day, and they get together. They're quite the freaks, man. Sort of like the midgets in Wizard of Oz. A lot more going on there than you'd think, Reno.
Fourth down, and the Tennessee Titans are actually lining up to go for it, or at least try to induce the Raiders to come offside. And that's what they're going to try to do. They're just trying to get him to go offside, and they can't. Really nothing to lose in that situation. They have to take a timeout. They're going to kick from near midfield anyway.
Trying all his best moves there to evoke that. Nobody was biting.
No.
It's tough on the road to do that. Crowd gets involved. Quarterback has to scream his lungs out. All for nothing.
Now they should fake the punt, right? You've got him suckered in psychologically. I'm on to something here.
Well, they tried that last week, and it didn't work against Green Bay.
All right, you try it again.
You try it once more.
Tim Brown may be worried about what happened to him last against San Diego when he dropped the punt.
So it'll be 4th and inches and a punt upcoming when we come back. Two minutes to go. Craig Hentrich now to finally punt. And back and making the fair catch signal is Brown at the 14-yard line. So that's where the Raiders will have it. And the Raiders have 2 timeouts as the clock ticks down. 2 timeouts left. Monday Night Football's Saturday Bash being brought to you by Ford, the totally redesigned Ford Explorer, only from Ford Outfitters. FedEx, Ground International, online or express. There's a FedEx for that. Norelco for unexpectedly close shave, put it to the test. And Bud Light for the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down. Make it a Bud Light.
You know, the fountains in Oakland flow Bud Light.
I thought regular Bud comes out of this.
Maybe I have it wrong. I heard a rumor.
Sounds good to me.
Close in Jack London Square, I know that.
Oh, it scared me.
Oh, don't be scared. First down at the 14-yard line. Here's Gannon throwing. It's caught by Garner. Turns it upfield. Forced out of bounds by Andre Dyson. First down.
Must be so tough to try to defend Rich Gannon. The Titans came with a blitz that time. Watch from this side of the screen. Samari Rolle coming in. A linebacker coming in as well. Gannon goes to the other side of the field. First down to Garner.
Garner up at the 25.
Gannon in such control of this offense.
Mentioned his ex-teams, Philly and San Francisco. All highlights of that game. Also Miami and New England with the Patriots winning today. Part of our Toyota halftime show as Gannon throws, it's tipped, and he's very lucky it wasn't intercepted.
What about those Patriots, Al? Is that unbelievable?
That's
I was
amazing.
up there for their preseason intro dinner, man, and you know, I like Bob Kraft, but who would have thunk it?
Yeah.
One thing about Rich Gannon, he's a side armor, although that time he went over the top, but Josh Evans was there right in his throwing lane as Rice was right behind Evans. Would have had an easy completion, but that right hand knocked it away.
Second down and 10 from the 25-yard line.
Double cross him, get back. Double cross him.
A little stunt up front. Raider offensive line picks it up, and then Gannon slings one. And there's a sidearm toss that's caught by Williams. Fighting for the first down. Comes close up at the 35-yard line.
That's a great effort by Roland Williams. He caught that ball about 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage. The yardage after the catch brings up this 3rd and inches. And if I were Gannon there, I would have called for a measurement, demanded a measurement, saved myself a timeout.
But they take a TO here, and they have one remaining now.
Watch where Williams grabbed. At the 20-yard line. He's right about 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage there. Great effort there as he pulls Eddie Robinson. And the freak, Javon Curse, having a horrible night. Got a penalty the last series, although it was nullified by offsetting. But the Raiders, Barry Sims doing a good job on Javon Curse.
Dan, does that ball have to be right on the sideline marker where it's tough to differentiate? A bit of a gentleman's agreement between a quarterback and a ref when he asks for a measurement.
Anytime you can demand a measurement when it's that close. Especially this time of the game when you're trying to save your timeouts.
But they don't. They have one timeout left. But it's 3rd down and 1. It starts to rain again.
You can demand all you want. You still may not get that.
Right. On 3rd and 12, it's not going to be granted. On 3rd and 1 now, the pass is caught, and that's a first down to Tim Brown up to the 43-yard line. They spotted at the 42, 1st and 10 with 70 ticks left, and Gannon will stop the clock by spiking it here. You know how interesting this is in terms of what the Raiders have done in recent times over their last 12 home games going back to last season. And here they are with nothing on the board. 2nd down and 10 at the 42-yard line as Gannon steps up. There's a sidearm sling, and that's incomplete, intended for Brown. Sneak couldn't get it into the end zone, and pulled out the win. 3rd down and 10. Gannon flings it. Intended for Brown, and that's incomplete. And I would think the wet ball might be coming into play here a little bit, Dan.
Yeah, and I think pressure, though, right now, what the Titans are doing is they're preventing Gannon from being able to step up into the pocket. The pressure, Samari roll on it on the blitz that time, that forced the ball to avoid the interception.
Now Leckler to punt. Mason will get it back. Tennessee has 2 timeouts. Here's Mason from the and that is great special teams coverage. That's Randy Jordan racing down the field, and their special teams maven shows you why he's a maven. And the Titans will be satisfied to run the clock out as Eddie George.
A lot of leg problems for George this year.
So this is going to end the first half. McNair just kneeling down, and for the 2nd time this season an NFL game has a scoreless first half. Mentioned at the very top to Dan that Oakland comes in 2nd in the league in scoring, 2nd on kickoff. Tennessee to take the ball first here in the 3rd quarter with Derek Mason to receive this kick, a short kick fielded up at the 11-yard line by Mason, and Derek brings it back out to the 31. He's tackled there by Eric Barton.
Take a look at the first half stats, and the Raiders have to be extremely happy with how they are controlling the offense, especially over here. This is a team, the Raider defense has given up 130 yards on the ground per game rushing. And they have totally shut down the Titans. You can see Eddie George having another miserable night.
Well, not much of a factor in terms of just carrying the ball. Only twice they had Skip Hicks in for a series earlier. He looked pretty good. Here is Eddie George, and he starts the half with a 3-yard run, which is his average run this season, averaging just a tick under 3. Tackled by Beekert.
We saw that he had 2 rushes. Actually, it was 7, and now you add that 1. And this is the real troubling number for Eddie George. And he limped off the field badly at the end of the first half. So we will see Skip Hicks here in the second half. The Titans need his quickness and fresh legs.
There's Hicks. Eddie George, great games earlier in his career against the Raiders, both in Tennessee, as the catch is made here by Frank Wycheck, tackled by William Thomas. Back to the Eddie George situation. And the games we were talking about in '97, that was the first game ever for the former Oilers then moving to Tennessee. They were known as the Oilers. That game was in Memphis. Then in '99 in Nashville, 199 rushing yards. He was actually over the 200-yard figure and then lost a yard on his last carry to go back to 199. 3rd down and 4 from the 37. And McNair guns one out to the left side, and that's Drew Bennett, the rookie from UCLA, first down.
You know, when a guy puts up numbers like that against one team, it's worth another look. 4 years ago, he went for 216. The uniforms look a little bit different. So does Eddie George. You can see the power, the high knee action there is running through the Raiders. And then the 199-yard game on a Thursday night in Nashville. Different guy because of those leg and foot injuries.
Now from the 42, here goes George. Hold closes. We talked about Eric knowing all about that injury that Eric has incurred. ED, what do you think?
Well, Al, I tell you, it's like a car running on 3 wheels. It can't work, especially for a running back, because you have to plant, cut, and you can't explode either. You can't be effective as a running back. Now, when I was a rookie, I had a toe injury. I had to wear this device. It was a toe piece. I wore it my whole career, Al. Without this, I could not have played 11 years in the NFL.
So that's the key to your success, huh? The toe piece. 2nd and 7 from the 45. And that is caught by Mike Green. ED, let me keep your mic open for a second. Have you talked to Eddie George about the toe piece that you wore?
Al, I was going to talk to him before this football game, and I told him about it before the game, so I'm going to show it to him. A lot of guys don't know about this toe piece. This is something that the Rams gave me back in 1983. So this is something that's very old.
You know,
toe piece field since then.
3rd down and 4 from the 47-yard line. McNair flushed out, almost sacked. Now he's going to take off. First down. George. Well, this game
in the first half, and remember, he had just 3 carries.
Well, he's going to play right here because we just saw Eddie George limp off the field. So Hicks is in the game. 2nd down and 8 from the 45-yard line. They send him into the pattern, and the pass is dropped at the 40-yard line. The yard line of the Raiders. This game with 10 and a half to play in the 3rd, and McNair has to take a timeout. Skip Hicks is the running back. McNair going deep, and there is contact. It's intended for Bennett. Here comes the flag because he was run into by Eric Allen. Drew Bennett, their 4th wide receiver, sometime quarterback at UCLA, in addition to a wide receiver, and the penalty is against the Raiders.
And the least likely receiver there to go to. Only thrown him 1 ball tonight. He got behind Eric Allen, forced Allen to run him over, and still almost made the catch. Great effort by Bennett. Stopped. When he stopped right there and paused, that guaranteed that Allen would run him over. And that guarantees the penalty flag.
Yeah, there comes that moment in each pattern where the deep receiver either has to make the decision to stop and get plowed or to push off like Randy Moss. It's right at that nanosecond where that decision's made.
So in a way, it's the rookie wideout, to some measure, outfoxing the 14-year veteran.
But that rookie wideout is a former foxy quarterback at UCLA.
36-yard penalty after what had been a 3rd and 8 heave by McNair. Now it's 1st and goal from the 9-yard line. Hicks dumped for a yard loss at the 10. Let's go to Melissa. Injury update on Eddie George. 2nd down and goal from the 11-yard line. It's the first time the Titans have even been in field goal range tonight. And what a move, but he gets the ball away to Hicks. And Hicks takes it to the 5-yard line. Grady Jackson from the 4-yard line. Fake to Hicks. McNair rolling, throwing, and then it's dropped. Dropped by Aaron Kinney, his 2nd drop on this drive. Look at Nedney, and the left footer will try to bang it through and does. And we finally have some points on the board. 9:05 remaining in the 3rd quarter in Oakland, where Tennessee has taken the first lead of the night. That's what they're telling me. All right. Here's Nedney's kick from the 7-yard line. This is Terry Kirby bringing it back out to the 22.
Terry Kirby with the kick return from the 7-yard line.
8:50, 15th week of the NFL season. From the yard line now, Oakland begins this drive on the ground. Going nowhere is Garner.
Al, I talked to Rich Gannon about his relationship with his head coach, John Gruden. He says, we have a strong working relationship. Our enthusiasm meshes well together, but we don't always see eye to eye. We're not afraid to tell each other exactly what we feel, but they both share a passion, and that's why the Raiders are successful.
Called from one play, right there.
Yeah, that was in the first half.
2nd and 9. Charlie Garner takes it up to the 25-yard line, where he's banged back by Randall Godfrey.
You got to watch out when Gruden starts giving that Gretten Van Susteren look.
Take a look at how the Raiders did individually in that first half. Rich Gannon suffered just his 7th interception of the year. Charlie Garner's not only the leading rusher, he's the leading receiver. Jerry Rice has 2 catches, as well as Tim Brown.
Is that
the lips give me that clutch cargo thing?
The clutch cargo deal. 3rd down and 7 from the 25. Gannon's going to take off, and Gannon is going to wind up shy of the 1st down. Short. Shane Leckler. And letting it bounce is Mason. And that works very much to Leckler's hole. Down 3-0 as Tennessee has it at the 18-yard line. Halfway through the 3rd period, McNair stepping up, slings it to the outside, coming back to make the catch is Mason, and he gets taken down by Allen. Speaking of the black
people in the Black Hole fans now, those are professional Raider supporters. Those people are unbelievable. Week in, week out. They're the first ones there, and they're the last ones gone. And if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be where we are.
Hey, John, you think these cats are rabid? Don't go to South Bend and make these guys look absolutely sedated.
John, of course, is denying any interest in the Notre Dame job. He did that pre-O'Leary and post-O'Leary. And here is Hicks, and that, of course, is what you'd expect in a situation where, I mean, what is a coach supposed to say who's taken a team to what he hopes will be a Super Bowl appearance, and they keep bringing up Notre Dame?
Well, my sources tell me Gruden to the Yellow Jackets, but it's the word on the street.
I know what your sources are. Somebody whispered to you, didn't they?
Oh, yeah, I got to put my good jacket on.
No, you don't.
Coming on camera here.
2nd down and 3 at the 37-yard line.
Take my tattered park off.
Eddie George walking around on the sideline. Hicks is in there. McNair throwing on the run. Caught this time by Mike Green coming out of the backfield to the 42.
You want the bye, and you want to play at home.
And they could have taken a big step toward that bye, or could take with a win tonight. With a loss, they're back 8. edge again. Here's McNair going deep, and that is incomplete. Of course, things are all scrambled now. Kevin Dyson that time.
Use it as a springboard for next season.
I said that?
I think.
That was Mitch Miller. 2nd and 10. Here's Skip Hicks, and he takes it across the 50 to the 49-yard line. And you know, when you look at the Raiders, kind of interesting how they were playing such high-scoring games for so many weeks, and then last week the low-scoring game to pull out the win against San Diego.
And you talked about the 28 points that they're more than anybody else. I mean, no score tonight for the Raiders against a team that has had all kinds of problems on defense, especially in the secondary, where the Raiders have been, you know, passing with Gannon has just been outstanding this year.
Yeah, I mean, Rice and Brown have been shut down. Rice with 2 catches for 20 yards. Brown with 2 catches for 14. And here's Hicks, looking like he did last week against Green Bay behind a Brad Hopkins block and taking the ball inside the 40-yard line.
And the perfect play call for the blitz right up the middle that the Raiders ran on defense that time. The quick pitch to the outside. And watch as Brad Hopkins gets out here, gets a key block there. And this is what you mean getting to the next level. Into the secondary where Skip Hicks uses that speed, and he's got the size to fall forward for extra yards.
1st and 10 at the Oakland 37-yard line. Under 4 minutes to play in the 3rd. Hicks again works his way to the outside, and a flag is thrown. Mike Carey signals the penalty coming against Tennessee. Setting them back 10.
You know, it's fascinating how individual each kid's dream is in this league. Al, when we meet with Hicks, he says he wants to get out of D.C. because he's behind Stephen Davis.
Holding. Offense, number 72. 10 yards, remains 2nd down.
And he wants to realize his own dream. And then, as a matter of fact, he says in the room, like, I want to get to the Hall of Fame. And you're thinking, wow, the 4 years so far have been so tough. But he still clings to that dream to be in Canton someday.
He does. And that's one of the reasons he went to Chicago. He thought he'd have a chance to start there. And you can see 20-yard runs, the top rates among active runners, Fred Taylor, Hicks, and Ahman Green. So there he is every 1.27 carries. Once every 27 carries, 20 or more.
And there's something about bouncing around helps in the maturity process, and perhaps Skip Hicks is ready to realize all that potential.
1st down 20 now after the holding call at the 47-yard line. Here's Hicks for 3 to the 44.
And you know, you don't even have to bounce around geographically, Dano. Cordell Stewart's been in the same place his whole career, but he's been bounced around emotionally. You look at him this year, he's like one of the most mature guys in the league.
You know, we talk about MVP candidates. We talk about Gannon. We talked about Favre and Warner. Cordell Stewart is making a pretty good case for an MVP trophy for his case.
I know, he seems so wise, and he doesn't make any bad decisions. It's amazing to see the light go on.
And I would volunteer you to present the MVP trophy to him.
I got to give it up to the guy, man. I was down on him when he didn't play, but he looks amazing. Shut me up.
2nd down and 17 from the 44. Under pressure. That's caught. It's Frank Wycheck. And Wycheck gets banged to the turf at the 30-yard line by Jackson. So they go from 2nd and long to 3rd and about 4. And we can tell you that Monday Night Football on this Saturday night is brought to you by Coors Brewing Company and your local Coors distributor. 21 means 21. Blackjack. Verizon Wireless, join in. McDonald's, we'd love to see you smile. And Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline at Super Bowl 36.
You want to get to Super Bowl 36, you might get in that line now, Al. I saw a story on the news tonight. Those airport lines getting long.
Could you believe that? 4.5 hours at Oakland Airport last night.
Got to do the job. Crazy people in the world. Got to be patient. Got to get searched.
3rd down and 3 at the 30-yard line. And that is caught by Kevin Dyson for the touchdown. Dyson makes his first catch of the night.
And you got to give it up for Mike Heimerdinger, the offensive coordinator. Has beat the blitz with a couple of well-timed plays, the tight end screen, and now this beauty as the bunch route works to perfection. 3 in a close area. Torrey James not knowing which one to take. Nothing wrong with that back. Steve McNair right on the money, right in the end zone.
The bunch pattern. That is beautiful, Dad. I've been with you 2 years. I never heard you pull the bunch pattern. I love that.
Merry Christmas. Joe Nedney for the point after. And there go the Titans, 82 yards on 9 plays. 30-yarder to Dyson. Tennessee 10, Oakland nothing. Top, that's a long third quarter. Terry Kirby back to receive. Kirby a yard in the end zone. And he's run out of bounds up at the 20-yard line. Let's check in with Melissa.
Well, Al, when you look at John Gruden, you see his facial expressions, his intensity. Hear about those sleepless nights, how much time he spends at the office. I talked to his wife, Cindy, to find out what he is like at home. She said he spends his majority of his time playing with his 3 sons, ages 1, 5, and 7. And I asked her to tell me something that no one would believe about him. She said he can't fix a thing around the house. He's worthless. And she said he's very impatient. How impatient? When they rent a movie, they watch it in fast forward.
From the 20s. This is Brown.
That is a shocking revelation. I would have never been impatient.
That's weird. That's just weird. That ain't a
You know, you look at that scowl and the facial expressions, and they're well known now because the Raiders have had so much exposure on national television over the last couple of years. But you'd love this guy. You get to know this guy. He's a terrific guy. He will, as I said earlier, his agent is going to be one of the wealthiest guys in the country when John's contract is up. 2nd and 6. And this is caught by Garner. A little underhand flip. First down.
Rich Gannon is an athlete. That's how he was drafted back by the New England Patriots when he came out of Delaware. Because he can make plays like this. Right straight out of the improv. Sees the receiver there. Knows that if he gets him the ball in a hurry, he's going to have a lot of yards.
He's throwing that backhand like Odd Job on the James Bond commercials we keep seeing here.
First down at the 48-yard line. Gannon. Sidearm. Caught. Garner. To the 45-yard line.
Well, you know, Al, you can always count on Johnny Gruden to have his troops prepared, but you got to give it to Fisher tonight. I mean, tough to keep this team up psychologically. They're on the ropes a bit. He said, he quoted Warren Zevon, he said, we're bringing lawyers, guns, and money, and they have done it, man. They look good.
Titans, as you can see there, 31 straight wins when they lead after 3, which will be the tonight. And that's the longest streak in the league. So they're going to try to make it 32. Because they will have the lead. 2nd down and 4 as Gannon flips one out to Garner, and he can't one-hand it. And gets taken down by Greg Favors, doing Charlie no favor.
Why was Garner trying to one-hand that? I'd have to see it again. Right, it just looked like he could have two-handed.
Meanwhile, we've had Javon Curse on and off the field of the night. Juqua Thomas has taken his place, at least for the moment. Kevin Carter, former Ram, has had a quiet night on the other side. Meanwhile, Curse has not been credited with a tackle tonight. 3rd down and 4 now. As Gannon sets up, Gannon goes deep. Gannon for Rice. The flag is thrown. There's a one-hand grab by Jerry Rice, who's made a few of those in his career.
Oh, I see. He was prepping Gannon for the next play.
And this will be against the Titans. Illegal use of the hands, illegal contact against Tennessee. And if they didn't do it, Rice probably catches this with 2 hands. What a fake there on Daryl Porter. The old stop and go route. Beautiful left-handed catch. Jerry Rice.
So the 4th quarter will begin. 1st and goal for Oakland. End of 3 as the quarter ends. Tennessee 10, Oakland. And this Saturday night special of Monday Night Football is back after this from our ABC stations. Tennessee 10, Oakland nothing as we start the 4th quarter. Al Michaels, Dan Faust, Dennis Miller, Eric Dickerson, and Melissa Stark on this Saturday night. With you again next Saturday night as well. All game at running back now on first down and goal from the 5-yard line. Gannon checks off. Gives pocket. Stop to the 4.
Eric Allen told us that when he had to play against Jerry Rice, the most important thing about Rice is the first 5 steps off the ball at full speed every time. This is what a defensive back has to look at. Whatever Jerry Rice is doing, the first 5 steps all look the same. Whether it's a run, whether he's the off receiver or a decoy, or whether he's catching a 40-yarder right down the middle. The defensive back has no idea what he's going to do. All they know is he's going to be coming in a hurry.
All they know is he never takes off either. Second down and goal from the 4. And Gannon, who was necktied as he throws that one, intended for Jerry Porter, and it was Darryl Porter, 44, on the goal. Gannon throws, and it is Williams in the end zone, making the catch. Touchdown.
Talks about Rich Gannon being a dart thrower. He's got such a quick, compact motion. Roland Williams, 86, again, bunch package, Dennis. 3 receivers. He goes in, pushes off the linebacker Bullock right there. Doesn't get called, makes the catch, and sits down and scores.
Janikowski for the point after. So Oakland, thanks mainly to Gannon and Rice, pulled it within 3.
Bong, 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 bong. Oh, Jerry Rice, the piece that we've been missing. It is the dawn of a Super Bowl bird.
Jerry Rice had gone a year and a half without a 40-yard reception. Now 2 in back-to-back weeks. Janikowski sends a one-hopper down to Mason. Mason tries to cut back the other way and is tackled at the 19-yard line. It's Saturday, but SportsCenter is on after the game. Highlights of the game, reports from around the NFL, all the day's sports news.
NFL season winding down now. When do you and I announce our first NBA game, my friend?
You want to make that announcement tonight, Danny? What do you think? Should we stir it up?
3 in the booth. You, I, Jumpin' Joe Caldwell.
Jumpin' Joe. You remember Jumpin' Joe Caldwell?
Jump over a car from a standing start. Beautiful.
I went to school with him.
He could jump over the popcorn machine.
Oh, you're right. I want to get to that in a second, too. Eddie George back in the game at the 19-yard line. And McNair throws deep downfield, and it's intercepted by Eric Allen. And Allen takes the ball all the way back down to the 22-yard line.
First of the year for Eric Allen. 54 on his great career. This is an overthrow by Steve McNair. Trying to squeeze the ball into a deep zone. Raiders don't play a lot of zone. They're trying to get the ball to Wycheck on the corner route. Ball will sail on McNair right into the hands of Eric Allen. I think when Steve let it go, he knew it was too far, and now it was coming back in his direction.
Eric Allen, first of the year, but 54th of his career, and there you see it. How about Willie Brown in the Hall of Fame, and Darrell Green, who will be, with the same number, and there is Willie Brown, coaches the defensive backs for the Raiders. At the 22 now, first down, Oakland. Down by 3, and Garner tries a little Edwin Moses move and is taken down after a gain of 1.
Think of Willie Brown. I think of NFL films locking in on as he lugged that interception return all the way down the field. The eyes never blinked, man.
And Bill King saying, "Old Man Willie."
Old Man Willie. And you mentioned the popcorn machine. Our very best to the great Chick Hearn. Underwent a heart procedure in L.A. And, of course, that long streak of announcing Laker games is over. Knowing Chick, he's listening right now. Get well soon, Chick.
You bet.
They're just keeping the seat warm for you. Second down and 10 from the 22-yard line. And here is the pass from Gannon. Ritchie short, and Perry Phoenix was there covering. Let's check in with Eric.
Well, Alice, I look at the Rays. They look like a very overconfident football team in the first 3 quarters. Now, I think they really looked past the Tennessee Titans and were thinking playoffs. Now, I've been on teams that have won divisions, and you have a tendency to relax a little bit. But I can tell you, Jerry Rice really sparked this football team, setting up them for their first touchdown.
No doubt about it, but now 3rd and 10 as they try to convert, try to cash in on the Allen interception. Already clearly in field goal range as they're down by 3. And that head count creates a flag, creates an offside, creates a free play, which is an incomplete pass as Javon Kearse bit on the head bob.
So 3 times we've talked about Javon Kearse, 3 penalties on the freak.
Number 90, 5 yards for a full down.
But in Javon's defense, this is illegal. Right there. Mike Carey, our official tonight, he's got to call that one.
Yep.
You've got to call that on the quarterback. That is illegal to head bob like that.
Not everything bad comes in threes for Javon, though. He joined Derek Thomas and Reggie White this year as the first guy to get 10 sacks in his first 3 years in the league. And that is all the big category there.
3rd down and 5 now from the 17-yard line. Gannon under pressure throws, and the pass is incomplete. Intended for Tim Brown. Good coverage that time, and Eddie Robinson forced.
And you know, Mike Carey, our referee tonight, should know better. He was a great running back in high school at San Diego at University High School. Then he went to Santa Clara, where his quarterback, Dan Pastorini, one of the all-time greats. Talk about greats. Here's Samari Rolle holding Tim Brown there just enough to get away with it. Tim looking for the flag, but the flags aren't flying tonight.
Now a 35-yard attempt by Janikowski to try to tie the game. Earlier he missed one from 40. This time he's perfect. So Tennessee has watched a 10-0 lead evaporate. 12:55 left in the 4th. 10-10. Bay Bridge, you can see San Francisco in the background. About 8 miles across the bay. On this wintry night. Temperature now in the upper 40s. It's been raining off and on. But a good one here. The game is tied at 10. Janikowski's kickoff bounces just into the end zone. Had it gone out of bounds at the 1, they would have had it at the 40 instead of the 20. Just does get it in, and doesn't he know it. So McNair will take over at his own 20 with a game time 10-10. Back in Oakland, our sympathy, our thoughts, and our prayers are with the Schaap family tonight. Many of you have read about Dick Schaap, who is an extraordinary man who passed away yesterday. He was a very special human being. As Eddie George starts this drive, taking the 21, a colleague of many of us, worked for, of course, ESPN and ABC, was a prolific writer, and just everyone who came in contact with Dick Schaap had their day brightened by him.
Amen, Al.
It is 2nd down and 9 for the Tennessee Titans at the 21-yard line. Tennessee and Oakland locked up early in the 4th. Oakland trying to go to 11-3. Tennessee trying to get to 500 for the first season. McNair gets away, gets hit as he then throws, and incomplete. Check in with Melissa.
Well, Al, so many injuries for the Tennessee Titans tonight. Now they have another one. Bruce Matthews has a strained left groin. His return is questionable.
And there he is, the venerable one, in his 19th season. 4th most in NFL history and by any non-kicker. Kevin Long is in as the center. DiNapoli has now moved to guard. 3rd down and 9. And McNair gets taken down by Darrell Russell.
All those changes up front for the Titans, and McNair had no chance. He was forced out of the pocket on the previous play. And now Darrell Russell comes through to pick up a sack. But as soon as McNair gets back there, the Raiders, Tony Bryant and Russell, are waiting for him.
That's Russell's first full sack of the season. In fact, his first full sack in over a year. Charles Woodson is back to receive this kick. Craig Hendrick sends it skyward. Good, deep, floating kick. And Woodson does a little spinorama. And a flag goes down as he goes out of bounds at the 43-yard line.
Just like riding a bike, those punt returns down.
Makes him look like it after a 50-yard kick. And this one is against Tennessee for a face mask.
Face mask on the kicking team, number 51. 5-yard penalty. First down.
You saw Jeff Fisher put up 5 fingers saying just make it a 5-yarder for incidental, which he did. Penalty on Greg Favors. Well, Steve McNair watched his Tennessee Titans move out to a 10-0 lead, but thanks mainly to Rice, Oakland has caught him. Rice with that 40-yard reception to set up the touchdown, and now Oakland first and 10 at its own 47 with Gannon flinging one to the outside, caught by John Ritchie, and he's taken down after a gain of 2 by Greg Favors.
Take a look at how the Raiders are doing individually tonight. Rich Gannon, typical night for Gannon, about 2/3 of his passes complete. Charlie Garner not only with 7 rushes for 27 yards, he's the Raiders' leading receiver with 7 catches.
And there is Garner lined up in the backfield on 2nd down and 8 from the 50-yard line. They give it to him on a delay. Garner taken off, picks up the first down and a lot more to the 35-yard line before he's tackled by Darrell Porter.
He's such a great combination of a scat back almost and yet a power. He's perfect on a draw play because he has that mentality to allow things to happen around him and then use his quickness to make guys miss. And then at the end of plays to be heading north and south. Remember, he's only 190 pounds. He plays like he's 220.
He has at least 1 rushing and 1 receiving first down in every game this season. 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line. This time he's bunched up. How uncommon is that to do that over a full season? 1 rushing and 1 receiving first down in every game. There's only one other guy who's done it. Marshall Faulk in the last 10 years.
Well, he's a scat back runner right up until the point where he finishes the run and breaks your jaw. But right until that moment, he's very scatty.
2nd and 9 at the 34-yard line. Split back set here. And Gannon flips it out. Garner makes the catch. And then Garner gets out of bounds by Andre Dyson, Kevin's brother, kid brother, at the 29-yard line.
Javon Kearse having troubles getting to the quarterback. Here's that chip you talked about, Dennis, where John Ritchie went in there to help on Kearse with Roland Williams, and then Roland Williams with the body slam. But that's why Javon Kearse only, I say only, has 10 sacks on the year. He gets a lot of attention. Now he flips sides, tries the other side to get at Gannon.
There he is on the defensive left side, 3rd down and 3. Hurry up, they say, because the play clock goes to 0. Gannon, short mincing steps, then throws, pass caught at the 25. Jerry Rice, first down. Knew exactly where he had to be, knew exactly how to get his feet in bounds. What a shock.
It's like Gannon and Rice are playing with the secondary of the Titans. Fights off the hold by Samari Rolle, grabbing him all over the field. But Rice not only makes the catch, but he wants to tell the officials that he was being held as well.
Tour de force. So they can pick up 4 on 3rd and 3, and then to give the ball to first down to the 20-yard line.
You know, we see Javon Kearse getting whipped around on some of those replays now. And you got to remember he's one of those essentially lean body types whose weight goes down throughout the season. Said 205 on that visual we had on him, but he's more like 255.
Boy, and our umpire, Garth DeFelice, really took a shot there. He's shaken up. So dangerous. There he is, number 53. He is right behind the line of scrimmage there. And he's got a camera on his bill. Let's see what he saw. It's a lead play right up the middle with Wheatley behind Ritchie. There's Perry Phoenix getting in there. Now the pile right back to him. And then down he went.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Raiders' next home game is Sunday afternoon, January 6th.
Tripped over the pile.
A game rescheduled for September 6th.
It took us right to black.
That wasn't the camera either.
There is that little camera that was put into effect by the networks a couple of years ago.
Really gives you a sense of what it's all about. Big bodies flying all around, power coming right at you. I'm surprised our umpires don't get injured more often. Thank God they don't.
Second down and 6 now from the 20-yard line. Restart the clock. Under 8 minutes to play in regulation. Ball is given. What about that slip move by Garner? First down and a 1st and goal. Slipped right by Darryl Porter.
Boy, Darryl Porter's having a rough night. He can't bring down the quarterback, Rich Gannon, when he blitzes. Here he's on the run blitz. Watch the move by Charlie Garner. 44 is Porter. Well, in Porter's defense, Jerry Porter pushed him in the back at the last instant there. That helped make that move look even better.
1st and goal tonight.
1st and goal. Ball at the 9. Wheatley back in the game, and the big back gets taken back.
Kind of amazed after the season we saw out of him last year. He's fallen into this, well, I guess they don't want to go on record and call it disfavor, but we haven't seen much of him.
It hurt a little bit. Garner, of course, came in.
The analogy you made earlier, Al, in the statistical analogy with Marshall Faulk, very similar situation here where we've seen the Rams give the ball to Faulk at the end of the games to take time off the clock, throw it to him, give him the ball out of the backfield. Same type of thing is happening here in the 4th quarter, although he's on the sidelines now. Raiders decide to go with the big backs, Ritchie and Wheatley.
And then probably back with Garner to run out the clock if they can take the lead. 2nd and goal. Gannon gets hog-tied at the 15-yard line by Keith Bullock, their number 1 choice last year.
Well, they rode Wheatley hard last year, and they were the number 1 rushing team in the league, so you have to wonder, it can't just be a fumble.
Coverage is pretty good this time for the Titans. Samari Rolle with perfect position on Tim Brown as he goes to the post. And Bullock with the speed did not allow Gannon to look for any other options.
First sack of Bullock's career right there, down and goal at the 15-yard line. Gannon guns it to the end zone, and that's incomplete. No flags, bodies flying all over the joint, intended for Jerry Rice. Covered by Rolle and Phoenix.
We had to try to get a shot of John Ritchie's forehead and see if he in fact has made it through an entire game without starting to bleed. He's had a wound on his head that hasn't healed in ages.
Little blood trickling down there.
Kept his record intact.
You got it.
That's the in vogue injury this year. He and Peyton. You see Peyton take his helmet off. It's so tight. He's got that Riddell stamped on his forehead.
33-yard field goal attempt by Janikowski, and he leaves this one off to the left. So Janikowski, their number 1 draft choice last year, after Tennessee's number 1 choice has his first career sack, Oakland's number 1 choice blows an easy one, and we're still tied at 10. Janikowski had missed only 2 field goals all year. He's missed 2 tonight from 40 and from 30. And now Tennessee takes over at its own 23-yard line. First down. Ball is given to Skip Hicks, who takes it up to the 25. Here's a reminder that on ABC tomorrow, help is on the way for that holiday stress. Nominated for 2 Golden Globes, including Best Drama and Best Actress, Jennifer Garner. 2nd down and 8. They don't say what the personal reasons are, but he's had a lot of trouble with the loss since he's second down and 8.
I know what it is, I'll tell you.
All right, tell me about it. Pass is caught by Mason. That's a first down. Up at the 35. Your sources tell you, Denny?
Out to Sausalito, complete body loofah.
Tantric?
Not tantric. Let's not get silly, but he did have the upper epidermal region of his body completely side. He's a sensitive kid, Sebi is. Great number 1 too. You can't pick enough kickers in the first round. That's brilliant.
First and 10 at the 36-yard line. Hicks. Pick up a 4 up to the 40-yard line.
William Thomas and Grady Jackson.
How the Titan star has been doing tonight.
Well, Skip Hicks is having a pretty good night. Eddie George has had problems averaging just 2 yards per carry, but Hicks right at 5 yards per. Kevin Dyson, I guess star when you only catch 1 ball and you go the distance. But Derek Mason, leading receiver for the Titans coming in, only has 3 catches. Wycheck just 2.
Second and 7 from the 39. Against the 4-man rush, it's a low throw, and it's at the feet of Kevin Dyson. Third down and 7. Talked about Bruce Matthews, 19 season, 40 years old. Brother, his father also played in the NFL. 13 times he's been to Honolulu. But will this be it for him is the question.
Talking to his offensive line coach there, Mike Munchak, Hall of Famer. You got to think that the great career of Bruce Matthews may be winding down to a complete halt now.
Matthews gave Munchak's induction speech this year. That favor will be returned 5 years after Bruce hangs it up. Third down and 7. And the pass is caught by Derek Mason. Derek Mason at the 32-yard line. Got free, ran it out, and McNair put it right on the money for a 29-yard gain in the rain.
A brilliant throw by Steve McNair, cutting it loose long before Mason is even into his corner route here. Look where the ball is thrown. Woodson with perfect position, but not for a ball that is this well thrown.
Well, if Janikowski ain't practicing, neither is Woodson, my friend. Turf toe he's got.
On a 3rd and 7, they gained 29 yards. The ball is now at the 32. Little toss back to Hicks. Turns it back inside, takes the ball down to the 27, clearly in field goal range now.
And Dennis, you're right about Woodson. He hasn't practiced in 4 or 5 weeks because of his bad toe. All he's been able to do in practice is keep his cardiovascular up by riding a bicycle, watching practice. Mentally, he's been in it. He looks sharp tonight. A couple of punt returns, some good coverage. The big important thing for Chuck Bresnan, he told me, is that we just need him to be able to play. So he has not been able to practice so he can play.
Unfortunately, his kicker has a bad toe tonight.
Second down and 5 from the 27-yard line. Draw play. They give it to Hicks. There goes Hicks down to the 20. A flag thrown at the end of the play.
Going to be holding against the Titans.
Tis.
Frankie McCourt.
Holding, offense number 89. 10-yard penalty remains, second down.
Going to get Frank Wycheck at the end of the run as he came down on Johnny Harris, the strong safety. This from the ump cam. Garth DeFelice, our umpire. And Wycheck, number 89 there, working against Johnny Harris, number 37. You want a nugget. You know why Johnny Harris wears number 37?
Pray tell.
It's not because he's a big Lester Hayes fan or anything. He wore number 3 in the Arena League and number 7 up in Canada.
And he put them together and you get 37.
Well, you can't wear 73 if you're a defensive back.
All right.
Second and 10 at the 32-yard line. The draw again. This is Hicks. And he's tackled a yard shy of the line. So now a third down play coming up. If they don't gain another yard, They'd be looking at about a 50-yard field goal attempt. Certainly Nedney has the leg. The question is, what about the accuracy?
Well, Del Greco had the accuracy, and then he got the yips. He ended up with Billy Joe, Bobby Joe, Hobart on the Hooters Monday tour.
The Titans will try to work Derek Mason over the middle.
Mike Heimerdinger, offensive coordinator, sending in this call on 3rd down and 10. McNair guns it to the outside, and it is caught. It is caught by Derek Mason after the defensive back had fallen down. I think it was Woodson, and he has a 1st and goal. So again, on 3rd and long, the second time on 3rd and long, they've made a big play. This one 22 yards.
It's because Derek Mason can change direction on a dime. He is healthy. Watch, he's going to fake the crossing route right there. Woodson just slips for an instant there. Another perfectly thrown ball by Steve McNair. Where he puts this one. We talk about Kurt Warner's accuracy. Charles Woodson had Mason covered perfectly.
More importantly, Mason can change direction on a dime coverage.
And Oakland has taken a timeout. Oakland knows right now they have to use the clock to their advantage because Tennessee is in clearly easy field goal position, and the Raiders have to be concerned about too much time off the clock, so they stop it here on this side of the 2-minute warning. They still have 2 left, plus the stoppage at the 2-minute warning.
You know, I love being a front runner. You know, I've already talked about Gannon being an MVP tonight. We talked about Cordell Stewart being an MVP candidate. Well, let's go with McNair.
Well, I'll tell you something. If he was playing for a team that had a Super Bowl shot, he would definitely be in the hunt right now.
Boy, he's showing us what he's all about. The 2 throws on this drive to Mason. You could watch 1,000 football games and not see 2 better throws.
Yep.
It's a great corner in Charles Woodson.
McNair has truly come into his own, and he's done it in a season when they have yet to get to the 500 mark. 1st and goal at the 10-yard line. And this is Hicks. Not to say that he's done it this season. I mean, Stevie's already taken his team to the Super Bowl, but I think there's a greater appreciation finally of how good Steve McNair is.
Yeah, you know, he put up those fantastic numbers at Alcorn State. Got the great nickname, Steve Air McNair. But to the NFL, they really shackled him with some offenses that only let him throw the ball on 3rd down. Obviously, he had the talent physically. And now this year, Al, you said he's coming into his own.
Right, and speaking with assistant head coach George Henshaw right there. Oakland has taken a timeout. They put 2 more seconds back on the clock, so the Raiders have elected to use 2 of their timeouts on this side of the 2-minute warning. We'll get to the 2-minute warning. They hope to hold at least a field goal attempt, or at most a field goal attempt, and then have 2 minutes to play when they get the ball back and 1 timeout. Of course, Eddie George, who was shaken up earlier, and it's been Hicks in since. Meanwhile, it is 2nd down now and goal from the 9-yard line. Green and Hicks are the running backs. Hicks starts to stumble, gets taken down, loses the ball out of bounds, but it was whistled down at the 8. Johnny Harris makes the tackle, and that will take us to the 2-minute warning. And it will be 3rd down and goal when we come back, and Hicks is hurt. 2-minute warning, game tied at 10 in Oakland. Cadillac, new Microsoft Windows XP, you can. And State Farm Insurance, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. AFC playoff picture right now, just to summarize again. Pittsburgh, the best record in the conference. Oakland 10-3 pending the outcome of this one. New England now leading the East. Miami, the Jets, and Baltimore, if the season ended right now, would be in the playoffs. And again, the Jets can win the AFC East by winning out. Seattle, Denver, Tennessee, and Cleveland at least mathematically alive. Hicks with a pulling or reaching for his hamstring and walking off the field. not looking much the worse for wear, but Eddie George will come back in for this 3rd and goal play.
Imagine Skip finally gets the opportunity to showcase his wares and he dings his hammy.
It looks like he could be back before this one's over if they need him. Meanwhile, Oakland with 1 timeout remaining. It's 3rd down and goal here from the 9. They spread it out with Eddie George in the backfield. McNair runs a quarterback draw. Stevie looking for the end zone is stopped at the 3.
No.
Stopped at the 3-yard line, and the Raiders elect to use their final timeout.
And here's the guy, Steve McNair, came into the game. Didn't even know he's going to play until a couple hours before the game. This is his 5th rush of the night. He's thrown 27 passes. He's been sacked 3 times. And yet they call his number on 3rd and goal from the 9-yard line. Great effort by Steve McNair tonight, but what's new for Titan fans, huh?
So now it is a field goal attempt at extra point distance for Joe Nedney to try to give Tennessee the way. That Janikowski miss of 33 yards was the shortest miss of his 2-year Oakland career.
It's interesting. He hooked his first one that missed, and that last one he just pushed off to the left.
When the Raiders get the ball back, they'll have about a minute 45 or 6. No timeouts.
Al, you can see the Raiders talking to Nedney down there on the field. Business a little bit, trying to get inside his head.
– 21-yard attempt. Kendrick to hold. Kevin Long to snap it. Snap good. Placement good. Kick good. And so the Titans, who had a 10-0 lead, watch that evaporate. Now lead by 3 again. 13-10 with a minute 47 seconds remaining in the 4th. We were talking about Steve McNair. Here's what his coach Jeff Fisher had to say about McNair's involvement.
I've always felt he's one of the top football players in the National Football League. I think in the last 6 or 7 weeks, he's proven to be that he potentially can be one of the top quarterbacks. His numbers have been terrific. He's been playing through all sorts of injuries. He's finishing games when most quarterbacks would not be able to.
It's funny, some of those skill position guys are so tough-minded they can play through a lot of injuries, but I think Eddie George is finding out this year that one of the ones sometimes can't come back right from is that toe injury.
Sure. But people like, they laugh about it because they figure a toe injury. What's a toe injury? But I've heard Deion Sanders talk about it. Eric was talking about, how you get through things like this.
Hey, it finished Flat Lambert. Who's tougher than him, you know?
Joe Nedney to kick off now, and Terry Kirby to run it back. Raiders do not have a timeout. Down by 3. Nedney's kick bounces to the 6-yard line, fielded there by Kirby, and Kirby gets taken down at the 22-yard line. And the clock shows 1 minute 42 seconds. Again, a very big game in terms of playoff positioning for Oakland. If they lose, they will still be in the number 2 spot because of Miami's loss to New England. That was very big for Oakland, because had Miami won that game and had the same record, Miami would own the tiebreak over the Raiders. There's a huge difference, if you follow football, between winding up 2nd seeded and 3rd. Second week you're off. With a 2nd seed, you're off in that 1st week. The 3rd seed, and you have to play that 1st week. From the 22-yard line on 1st down, here's Gannon over the middle, and they begin with a pass to the tight end, Roland Williams. Now going without a huddle up to the 32-yard line. Have to check to see if it's a 1st down or not.
And defensively, just a 4-man rush for the Titans.
And it is not. It is a 2nd down and Gannon throwing, caught 35-yard line. And this is Garner. Titans just want to keep him in bounds downs, and they do up to the 39-yard line.
And Deron Jenkins did a great job of shutting the outside lane off to Charlie Gardner, forcing him back inside, so the clock continues to run.
65 seconds to play. Gannon on first down, slings it to the outside. Brown trying to get out of bounds. Does he? Yes, he does. He gets out of bounds to stop the clock at the 45-yard line.
No denying Tim Brown on that one. He caught that ball and made a beeline for the sidelines. He knows how important that clock is.
Well, Gannon's so great at this. It's almost like they're not in that much of a bind to some extent. I mean, he's so good at clock management. I know they need the 3 here, but he's a pretty cool customer.
And his heart is beating like crazy right now. Janikowski, 2nd down and 4 at the 45. Less than a minute remaining in regulation. It's slung to the outside. It's caught there by Porter. He has a first down at the 48-yard line of Tennessee.
This is where Gannon's so dangerous. He's so quick in his drop, getting the ball out to his receivers. He's working the sideline effectively here. The play clock at 55 seconds to go in the game really prevents him from going to the middle of the field, especially when the Titans are dropping 7 men. Looks like now they're going to drop 8 men as they come with a 3-man rush.
So 3 down linemen right there. No blitzing, 3 rushing, 8 back. Pass caught, 39-yard line. That's Jerry Rice. Stopped a little short of the first down.
He's going to have to throw the ball down the field to the sideline to stop the clock. He can't afford to throw it over the middle like that again.
Spikes it here, stopping the clock with 41 seconds.
But again, the key now is how confident are you in your place kicker? Talk about the range of Janikowski. Missed one from 40 tonight.
Well, this is a big play here because you have a 3rd down and 1. If you hurt, you're almost compelled to go for it under these conditions, with Janikowski having already missed twice. Otherwise, you're looking at a 56-yard field goal. And if you don't convert, then you're looking at 4th down. Huge play. 3rd and 1. Gannon throws. They convert. It is Tim Brown making the catch. Gets to the 35. Now you're looking at a 52-yard field goal if you gain nary a yard. Half a minute to play. Gannon stops the clock. 28 seconds.
Great field generalship by Gannon. Complete control. Look how calm he looks. Getting the play from the sideline now from Gruden in his helmet.
Well, there's no doubt that Janikowski has the leg for it, but you got to wonder if his bean's commensurate with his leg, you know.
A little bit different look between Gannon out on the field and Janikowski on the sideline.
Sure.
Yeah, Janikowski's looking after his ear hole.
2nd and 10, and the pass is caught on a slant. Now Jerry picks up a first down, gets it to the 23-yard line. Clock keeps running. Gannon wants to spike it. Gannon spikes it with 17 seconds.
Yeah. Janikowski. I think Rice and Gannon don't even want him on the field. Let's get 6.
Well, this is interesting because right now, as well as they're getting regrouped after each completion, he can throw the ball in the middle of the field, run the clock down to 5 seconds or so, and spike it again and give Janikowski a chip shot. So look for Gannon to work Brown over the middle this time.
Gannon 7 of 10 on this drive, and all the incompletions have been spikes. So he's been all but perfect. Gannon to the corner of the sideline. Jerry Rice didn't quite get to the end zone. He was at the 4-yard line, and the pass is incomplete.
Now it's tough. With just 11 seconds, yeah, they're going to go right for the field goal now. Gannon doesn't like it, but this is a good call by Gruden.
Well, this is your theory that if they fumble the snap here, right, they still have 4th down to re-kick.
Well, that's one of the reasons.
They wouldn't be able to stop the clock, though.
Right.
Yeah. No.
Ball at the 32, unless they threw the pass away, incomplete. 42-yard field goal for Janikowski, who's missed 2 of 3 tonight. And this one he hooks, and that one is no good. He came into the game all season long. In 13 games, he had tried 23 field goals. He'd made 21. He had 2 misses in 3.5 months and 3 tonight.
And watching him on the sidelines, you knew he had the demons in his head.
He didn't even warm up on the sideline, Dan.
He didn't. He hooked his first one, pushed his second miss, and hooked his third, the most crucial one. But unbelievable, not even warming up in the kicking net on the sidelines before a potential game-tying kick.
I kept looking at the shot when Drew Esikoff would punch up Janikowski. You're seeing kickers warming up in situations where they know they're coming into the game. He wasn't.
Well, this is bad news for the working class all across this great country, because no employer is going to give any personal days out after this.
You know, you just go over the net to get into a little bit of a rhythm.
Well, he had a groin problem last week, missed some practice time for personal reasons this week. Whatever, he missed 3 field goals tonight, and now the Raiders are in a position where they're right on the edge of whether they'll get the 2nd seed or the 3rd, and that, as we've said many times, is a vastly different situation. Titans